don't think I could tell you much about that, but we picked up a few players that could make some plays, offense and defense.
Let's start with one of the darkest chapters in NFL history, Aaron Hernandez. At just 23, he had a $40 million contract, was playing for the Patriots, and was considered one of the most unstoppable tight ends in the league. But in 2013, he was arrested for the cold-blooded murder of Odin Lloyd, a semi-pro player who was dating Hernandez's fiancée sister. What followed wasn't just a trial, it was a total unraveling. Investigators discovered a string of violent incidents in Hernandez's past. Fights, threats, alleged shootings, some dating back to college. Yet time and time again, he was protected. College coaches looked the other way. NFL scouts gave him a pass. Why? Because of his talent. He helped win games. He sold jerseys. He brought in money. And in the NFL, talent often outweighs character. After being convicted and sentenced to life in prison, Hernandez would later take his own life in his cell in 2017. But even in death, the scandal didn't end. An autopsy revealed he had severe CTE, chronic traumatic encephalopathy, brain damage caused by repeated head trauma. The same condition found in dozens of other former players. The league said nothing. No responsibility. No apology. Just another broken body in the cost of doing business. But players aren't the only ones who hide behind a shield. Let's talk about the Washington Commanders. For years, this team was a factory of dysfunction. Dozens of female employees reported a toxic workplace where harassment wasn't just common. It was part of the culture. Executives making inappropriate comments, requests to wear revealing clothing, being ignored or retaliated against for speaking up. The stories piled up. One woman said she was told her job depended on how she entertained clients. Another said she was groped during a work trip. These weren't rumors, they were patterns. And at the top of it all, team owner Dan Snyder. Instead of investigating transparently, the NFL allowed a private law firm to conduct a review and then refused to release the findings. Imagine that, a major workplace abuse investigation, and the public gets a few vague bullet points. That's not justice. That's image control. Snyder eventually sold the team in 2023 for over $6 billion. He walked away richer than ever, while the women who spoke up are still waiting for real accountability. And then there's Brett Favre, NFL royalty, Hall of Famer, beloved by millions. But in 2022, his name was tied to a massive welfare fraud scandal in Mississippi. Investigators found that tens of millions of dollars meant for low-income families had been misused, funneled into pet projects, speeches, and even a volleyball facility at Favre's former university. The same university where his daughter played. Texts revealed Favre's awareness of where the money was coming from. In one, he literally asks if the media can track the source of funds, admitting his concern about public backlash. And the most disturbing part? This money was taken from the poorest people in the poorest state in America. Families who needed food, shelter, and support. While a multi-millionaire quarterback used public funds for sports buildings. Favre has denied wrongdoing and hasn't been criminally charged. But he's at the center of ongoing civil suits. The NFL? Not a word. Not a fine. Not a suspension. Because in the NFL, once you're a legend, they protect the brand, not the people. Antonio Brown is a name that once meant highlight reels and game-winning catches. But what happened next was one of the most public self-destructions in NFL history. In Pittsburgh, he was a star, but locker room drama started boiling. He skipped practices, clashed with coaches. Then came a bizarre behavior, dyeing his mustache blonde, arriving to training camp in a hot air balloon, complaining about helmets, forcing a trade to the Raiders, then getting released before ever playing a down. Accusations of sexual assault followed. Lawsuits. He briefly joined the Patriots, then got dropped again. Next, it was the Buccaneers. Fake vaccine cards, social media meltdowns, and then the infamous moment, storming off the field shirtless mid-game, throwing his gear into the stands. It was surreal. A man with talent still at his peak, spiraling out in real time. And yet, time after time, teams gave him another chance. Why? Because talent always buys another shot. Until it doesn't. Let's not forget the scandals that go beyond players, scandals that cut into the very integrity of the sport. In 2022, Brian Flores dropped a bombshell. The former Dolphins head coach claimed that team owner Stephen Ross offered him money, $100,000 per loss, to tank the season and improve their draft position. Let's be clear, this isn't just unethical. It's cheating. It's an owner allegedly trying to sabotage his own team, manipulate league outcomes, and gamble with fans' loyalty. But that wasn't all. Flores also claimed the NFL's hiring practices were discriminatory. He interviewed for jobs he says were never truly available. Interviews held just to satisfy diversity requirements. Token interviews. The lawsuit set off a firestorm, sparking more claims from other coaches of color. The NFL denied everything. Ross denied it, but the lawsuit is still live. And the NFL? They fined Ross, suspended him briefly, and moved on. Business as usual. Now step back and look at the pattern. These scandals aren't random. They're symptoms. Symptoms of a culture that rewards silence, protects profit, and tolerates almost anything, as long as the cameras keep rolling and the money keeps flowing. You can commit fraud, harass employees, storm off a field, or even be accused of crimes, and still walk back into the locker room if you're good enough. But if you speak out, if you kneel, if you challenge the system, if you threaten the bottom line, you're gone. Exiled, buried. The NFL markets itself as family-friendly entertainment, a celebration of sportsmanship, teamwork, and community. But behind the highlights, the sponsorships, and the halftime shows lies a darker reality. A league built on silence, money, and selective memory. So the next time you see the fireworks, the anthems, the smiling faces holding up championship trophies, ask yourself, what does the NFL not want you to see? If you learned something new today, hit like. If you think these stories need to be heard, share this video. And drop a comment. What's your take on the NFL's dirtiest secrets? Which scandal shocked you the most? We're just scratching the surface. Subscribe for more videos that say what the league want.